चलो वो बंद कर देना।
गुड इवनिंग एंड वेलकम टू गना शॉट। गना शॉट में आप सबका स्वागत है। टुडे वी आर गोना हैव द नेक्स्ट इन द सीरीज ऑफ चाणक्य डिफेंस डायलॉग विद क्लॉस। We're going to discuss India, a Vishwabandhu in a crumbling world order. And to discuss all this with me is General Dushyant Singh, who's the Director General of CLOS. So first and foremost, let me welcome him. Good evening, General Dushyant. Welcome to your own show, Chanakya Defense Dialogues, and India being a Vishwabandhu and in a crumbling world order. It's so nice to, yeah. A very good subject. First, let us say what is a Vishwabandhu. Why did you get this thing called Vishwabandhu? उसके बाद बाकी बात करेंगे.
Okay, actually the whole thing started off. हम हिंदी में बात करते हैं आज क्योंकि मैं कमेंट्स देख रहा था कि कुछ लोग बोल रहे थे कि हिंदी में बोलिए.
हाँ, हिंदी में बात कर लेते हैं, ऐसे क्या.
So we will do a mix of Hindi and English. तो आपने देखा होगा पिछले कई सालों से हम लोग एक डिस्कोर्स कर रहे थे विश्व गुरु का, और सडनली बीच में ये विश्व गुरु चेंज होकर के विश्व बंधु बन गया. सो ये विश्व गुरु से विश्व बंधु क्यों बना, वो अपने आप में एक और रीजन है मेरे हिसाब से, लेकिन दोनों का एसेंस तकरीबन सेम है. विश्व गुरु में दो चीजें आ जाती हैं. एक तो फर्स्ट इज दैट spiritually, possibly India wants to tell to the world that we are a spiritual guru. We believe in world is one family. We believe in Atithi Devo Bhavo, such like things, doing things in a friendly manner. But then Vishwa Guru also conveys somewhere that we are trying to be masters. So their element of how should I say, the element
patronizing
of jo superiority came, so possibly over a period of time people thought, well, Vishwa Guru may not be the right word, let's start using Vishwa Bandhu, which means we are friends with the world. Simply put, Vishwa Bandhu, I think, is a word which has been framed to convey to the world that India is friends with all. Okay. And it got translated in the sense that हम लोग किसी ग्रुप के साथ अलाइन नहीं है, हम लोग पीस के साथ अलाइंड है. पीस के साथ अलाइंड, शांति के साथ अलाइंड है. तो ये एक इसका एक ओरिजिन कह सकते हैं कि, एंड फ्रॉम देयर ऑन आई थिंक जितने भी डिस्कोर्स हो रहे हैं, चाहे वो फॉरेन मिनिस्टर का हो या प्राइम मिनिस्टर का हो, सभी लोग, एवरीबडी इज टॉकिंग अबाउट विश्वबंधु. सो आई थॉट लेट्स एनालाइज करते हैं कि भाई क्या ये प्रैक्टिकल है इन टुडेज क्रम्बलिंग वर्ल्ड ऑर्डर. क्रम्बलिंग से आप समझ ही रहे हैं कि सब कुछ ढह रहा है.
नहीं, वो तो टूट रहा है, बिखर गया
रहा है. तो उसमें विश्व बंधु का कितना स्कोप है वो हम सोच रहे थे आज, दैट वी शुड डिस्कस दैट पर्टिकुलर थिंग. सो दैट इज व्हाई
नहीं, ठीक है, ये आपने बिल्कुल उचित विषय चुना है. विश्व बंधु का जो आइडिया है वो बहुत उचित है. पर मेरा एक सवाल है, इससे पहले कि हम बाकी दुनिया के बारे में बात करें, बिखरता वो दुनिया, ये कनाडा के बारे में थोड़ा बात करते हैं.
अब देखिए, ये कनाडा का जो ये सिचुएशन है, ये कॉन्ट्रडिक्शन है विश्व बंधु के हमारे पॉलिसी के हिसाब से. अगर हम विश्व बंधु हैं, जैसा कि हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि हम विश्व बंधु बने, तो अगर हम खाली सॉफ्ट पावर से अपने आप को, अपनी पॉलिसी को आगे बढ़ाएंगे तो कोई आपकी सुनेगा नहीं. आप समझ रहे हैं? तो मेरे ख्याल से जो इस समय जो वर्ल्ड ऑर्डर है, इस समय जो इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस, जियोपॉलिटिकल ऑर्डर जो चल रहा है, उसमें फ्रिक्शंस बहुत ज्यादा हैं. और इन फ्रिक्शंस की वजह से बंधुत्व, द फ्रेंडशिप, always gets sidelined the first casualty of geopolitical world order is the friendship part of it, and it is taken over by interests. और इंटरेस्ट को सिक्योर करने के लिए बंधुत्व और फ्रेंडशिप से ज्यादा जरूरी है द एबिलिटी of of a particular country to ensure कि वो जो बोल रहा है उसको लोग सुने, उसको लोग एटलीस्ट if not follow करें, at least do not hit back at that particular country. And to do that, you need the solid backing of hard power, deterrence. So is the world really ready for a Vishwabandhu? That's the question.
खैर,
And
मेरे
कनाडा
ख्याल
का एक
में जो
कनाडा का जो सिचुएशन जो चल रहा है इस समय, ये एक डायरेक्ट कॉन्फ्लिक्ट है हमारे फॉरेन पॉलिसी से, कि हमको फाइनली वी हैड टू रिजॉर्ट टू not being friends with Canada, and in the sense that we have taken some hard steps to a get back at Canada, b take some measures which convey to the world that look, we will not take things lying down. विश्व बंधु अपनी जगह पे है, लेकिन जहां इंटरेस्ट की बात आती है तो वहां पे हम इस पर्टिकुलर पॉलिसी को ब्लाइंडली नहीं फॉलो करेंगे, पंचशील में नहीं जाएंगे, हम वेट नहीं करेंगे कि कोई आकर के हमें मारे और मारता रहे और हम कुछ करें ना. आई थिंक दैट इज द होल इंटेंट बिहाइंड दिस. एंड कनाडा का जो एक्शन हुआ है, अगर आप वॉशिंगटन पोस्ट को पढ़ें, आज की जो वॉशिंगटन पोस्ट की खबर आई है, एक तरह से डैमनिंग खबर है जो उन्होंने भारत के खिलाफ वो करी है, टू द एक्सटेंट दैट द वॉशिंगटन पोस्ट सेज दैट देयर आर रिलायबल रिपोर्ट्स of Amit Shah being involved in this. That means, they are trying to straight away implicate the home minister of a country. This is not a
correct,
small statement.
right.
This is not a small statement, and this
So
should not be taken lying
yeah,
down by any country. Without
so
ample proof, you cannot hit back at prime minister or the home minister of a country.
yeah, I completely agree with you. So don't you think? I mean, let me put it this way. ये मैं मेरा मेरा ये विचार है, ये मेरा विचार है कि ये एक अवसर है कि हमें बताना कि भाई हम विश्व बंधु भी हो सकते हैं, अगर हमारे साथ विश्वासघात हुआ तो डंडा भी लेके आ सकते हैं आपके पीछे. तो
बिल्कुल,
दिस बिकम्स अ टेस्ट केस फॉर द विश्व बंधु कॉन्सेप्ट एज अ होल, सबको बताने के लिए कि भाई हम विश्व बंधु भी हो सकते हैं और अगर चाहिए तो हम डंडा भी लेके आ सकते हैं. राइट. इस स्थिति में let us analyze this. Washington Post एक माना हुआ न्यूज़पेपर है, नॉट ओनली इन यूएसए, इंटरनेशनली. और ये जो आरोप आया है कनाडा की ओर से आया है, तो कहीं ना कहीं कुछ तत्व हैं यूएसए के अंदर, आप देख रहे हैं, जो हमारे अगेंस्ट हैं. और इसमें मेरे सवाल ये है कि क्या ये इज दिस ओरिजिनली फ्रॉम कनाडा, दैट जो बताया जा रहा है कि कनाडा का ये इंटरनल प्रॉब्लम्स ट्रूडो एक्सटर्नलाइज कर रहा है, या कोई लॉबी है यूएसए में हु इज लीवरेजिंग ट्रूडो टू गेट टू इंडिया, कि कहीं ना कहीं ये गठबंधन जो इंडिया और यूएसए का है टूटे.
ओके, तो अगर आप इसको if you look at it from a holistic perspective, as far as the US is concerned, US has a proper, well formalized lobby system. Okay, there they have think tanks which are lobbying for a particular approach against a particular country or in favor of a particular country. Now these lobbyists are paid by the country concerned. Now who are India's adversaries? It's a plain and simple given. India's adversaries are the two neighbors which we have on the north and the west. You know that lobbying of our western neighbor and the northern neighbor, both are very very strong. दोनों ही बहुत ही strong lobbies हैं यूएस में. ओके,
यूएस में
अब
नहीं, कनाडा में भी,
ये जो
कनाडा में भी है ये.
हाँ, दोनों तरफ. अब आप देखिए, आई गिव यू वन सिंपल एग्जांपल. जो हमारा नॉर्दर्न नेबर है चाइना, जिसको हम बोलते हैं, उसने तकरीबन $6 बिलियन खर्च किए थे 2018 में टू बाई गुड मीडिया. क्या बोलते हैं उसको? बाई गुड मीडिया. न्यू टर्म, बाई गुड मीडिया. एंड ऑल दीज मीडिया हाउसेज ऑफ द यूएस part of that by good media. Similarly, Pakistan has a very strong lobby in US. Now, if you combine these two and combine their anti-India interests, you will get to know that there is one big angle which is working against India. That's one. The second thing which we need to also keep in mind is that the while US is openly support, uh, I would say not openly, but at least it is portraying the image of supporting India, but it also has an axe to grind. Okay, so it wants that that India should actually move away from the Russian block and
Camp.
start investing more in. You would have realized that very recently there was a news item जिसमें ये बताया गया है कि Russia is now our number 2 defense supplier. Now that is something what the US and the West would like to have, that India keeps getting away from the Russian dependence on defense equipment. So I think US with the five eyes, and आपको पता है five eyes क्या है?
Yeah, yeah.
चाइना, कनाडा, यूएस, यूके, वो जो इंग्लिश स्पीकिंग 5 कंट्रीज
Australia.
हैं, इनकी
Yeah.
1947 की इंटेलिजेंस की एक अलायंस है. तो ये दोनों फैक्टर्स मिल करके दे आर ट्राइंग टू रेज एन इशू ऑफ पुटिंग इंडिया ऑन द बैक फुट. Moment India is on the back foot, India would be forced to toe their line, or that is what they think. That is what these people are thinking. Somewhere the interests are converging. Openly, you sign a predator deal of with India, but underhand all these things are going on. Your newspapers are talking about Gurpatwan Pannu, Nijar, and then directly blaming the home minister. I mean, that sort of saying that article sort of saying that Prime Minister Modi was also not involved in it. Indirectly, they said that the NSA is also
Everything is,
possibly.
yeah.
Yeah. So somewhere down the line, it's an attack right at the apex level of the country's leadership. And in my opinion, there is a deeper game being played. And in this kind of a deeper game being played in geopolitics, Canada interests are converging because Trudeau is not getting any traction as far as internal politics is concerned. All the poll reports, that is the opinion poll reports, which are coming out from Canada, are showing him as going behind the current opposition party. Jagmeet has removed has withdrawn his support to this government. Now, to get Jagmeet's vote, these kind of things were suiting Trudeau, that if they raise this issue again in a big way, in a larger manner, possibly they will get that traction of the community there, and also get the support for his government to survive for the remainder period of जो बाकी जो समय बचा है उसका उस गवर्नमेंट सर्वाइव कर सकती है. एंड देन दैट विल गिव हिम टाइम. आपको पता है कि ट्रूडोज गवर्नमेंट इज नाउ इन माइनॉरिटी, सो इट हैज टू नाउ फाइट
Yes.
every day to ensure that it does not lose the minority. So I think all these factors have come together and created ये जो this environment for people to go against India. And this itself tells India that look, there is a limit to actually extending this policy of Vishwabandhu. We need to be prepared to respond either in gray zone or in hot zone or in conventional, unconventional. I think nothing is out of the table. Everything is on the table if you have to survive in this crumbling, fractious, unpredictable world. It's going to be all guns blazing. Then only you will survive. Otherwise, we will have to, eat the dust.
Yeah. There's a very interesting question which has come. I'll take it because this is, I think, part of this, what he says. He says, General Dushyant, General Shankar, India has missed the bus so far as penetrating Western media is concerned. Wouldn't it make sense for us to groom a homegrown media house with global outreach? And your thoughts on it? And I think he's got some value in what he's saying. क्योंकि अगर आप देखेंगे तो अगर आप रशिया का देखेंगे तो आरटीवी है उनके पास, रशिया टीवी. उसके बाद चाइना आपको देखेंगे तो सीजीटीएन है, right? Even the French have their own state channel, which is quite vibrant. It's not that सब देखते हैं, right? So and in USA you have very clear big houses which are aligned with one party or the other. So but यहाँ
इंडिया
अगर आप देखेंगे तो हम सब
इंडिया में
चिल्ला रहे हैं,
इंडिया में सर एक कोशिश की गई इस तरह का सोफिस्टिकेटेड ग्लोबल चैनल के लिए, एंड दैट वाज बियॉन्ड बियॉन्ड टीवी, which actually kind of modeled itself. And I feel that till the time Rajiv Chandrasekhar was behind this particular initiative, this channel was doing quite well. But from the time Subhash Chandra and Z have actually bought the rights of Beyond, it has started losing traction. People are not that hooked on to Beyond. So he's absolutely right. We need to develop channels which are having global outreach. If not outside the country, at least from inside the country, we must have channels which have a global outreach, which people would like to see and watch. Now Vion is one option, but there is no harm other players coming out and creating this kind of a thing. We had some channel like Times, I think, has got Times World. But again, Times World, if you listen to their programs, they again shift more to internal and than the external. So I think somewhere we have to focus on that external bit. I feel the
या
first post is doing quite well with focusing on external affairs, and that is where you find Palki's that YouTube program Vantage is gaining a lot of traction
ट्रैक्शन.
amongst at least the Indian people. And I'm sure slowly as the channel becomes much more popular, it will start gaining traction externally also. So I fully agree to his point that yes, there is a need. And why only within India? There is a need for us to create
Outside.
strong lobbies
Yeah.
outside. If somebody can buy good media, why not us?
Why
It's
not
all
us?
about it's all about exploiting all your leverages. After all,
Yeah,
now you're in
completely agree with you.
you are now in the nearing the fourth largest economy. You do have the financial gumption to create these kind of lobbies. So by all means, we should do it. And I think there are people who are possibly working towards it. I suppose so, because we cannot remain ignorant of such things.
या एंड मैं ये भी बताना चाहता हूँ सबको कि ये सिर्फ टीवी चैनल्स ही नहीं है, हमें एक दो चार अच्छे यूट्यूब चैनल भी
Absolutely.
ब्रॉडकास्ट करना
Great,
पड़ेगा, क्योंकि ये जो
great.
नया मॉडल में ऑफ न्यू सोशल मीडिया दिस थिंग ऑन ट्विटर एंड ऑल सोशल मीडिया वी हैव टू प्रोजेक्ट और इन्फ्लुएंस.
Correct.
एंड इनफैक्ट मेरा यही भी विचार है कि कुछ हमारे जो थिंक टैंक्स हैं, देयर यूट्यूब चैनल्स शुड प्रॉस्पर. और मैं सबको
Absolutely.
इसी बात में मैं बताना चाहता हूँ, क्लॉस जो जनरल दुष्यंत सिंह का वेयर ही इज द डीजी, ही इज गॉट अ यूट्यूब चैनल. मैं सबको रिक्वेस्ट करता हूँ कि कृपया इनका चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कीजिए और इनका चैनल को प्रोत्साहन कीजिए, क्योंकि जब
Correct.
तक आप इनको प्रोत्साहन नहीं करेंगे, ये वी विल नॉट हैव आवर ओन वॉइस इन द ग्लोबल कम्युनिटी ऑफ नेशंस. इट इज जस्ट नॉट कि हमारे डोमेस्टिक के लिए है, बाहर जो भी है उसमें भी ये हमारा बात पहुंचना चाहिए. फाइन. सो ये हमने
इसी एम से के डायलॉग में हम लोगों ने 9 इंटरनेशनल स्पीकर्स बुलाए हैं. रशिया अमेरिका दोनों के आमने सामने होंगे स्पीकर्स. वी विल हैव इजरायली स्पीकिंग, वी विल हैव whole lot of श्रीलंकन्स कमिंग टू स्पीक ऑन इन दिस सेमिनार जो 24-25 को हो रहा है. यूट्यूब पे लाइव जाएगा ये सेमिनार, फर्स्ट पोस्ट पे लाइव जाएगा ये सेमिनार, गनर्स शॉर्ट पे लाइव जाएगा इस सेमिनार, और क्लॉज यूट्यूब पे भी लाइव जाएगा सेमिनार. आपको जहां से देखना है देखिए, बट देखिए जरूर. यू विल गेट द फ्लेवर ऑफ इंटरनेशनल व्यूज ऑन वेरियस एस्पेक्ट्स which are facing our country in the route of national security and national development.
That's a great thing. So for all viewers, you will have this going live, and once the 2-day thing is over, it will be available to you, and I'll telecast it after a few days, one thing at a time. Right. That is as far as Canada, what we have to do and all that. We'll this thing. So हमने आज शुरू किया विश्वबंधु के बारे में, उसके बारे में अभी थोड़ा बताइए. जहां जहां कनाडा का संबंध और यूएसए का संबंध आता है, हम बात कर ही लेंगे उसके बारे में.
हम रिलेट
तो
करेंगे एक्चुअल से,
उसको रिलेट करेंगे. ठीक है. तो आपने जो प्रेजेंटेशन जो दिया, मैं ऑन कर दूं?
हाँ जी, जस्ट क्विकली, यस। सो हमने बैकग्राउंड काफ़ी डिस्कस कर लिया है, सो मैं अब बैकग्राउंड के बारे में नहीं बताऊंगा। सीधे मैं अपनी अगली स्लाइड पे आता हूँ, जिसमें आपको मैं बताना चाहूँगा कि दुनिया की एक्चुअल हालत क्या है इस समय। तो अगर आप देखें, ये जो मैप दिख रहा है आपके सामने, थोड़ा हल्का होगा ये मैप, लेकिन इसके जो डॉट्स दिख रहे हैं ना छोटे छोटे, ये सारे डॉट्स हैं आज की डेट में कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स कहाँ कहाँ पर है। Where are the conflicts taking place in the world? If you start from the west, as you look at it, you will find that they are in the cusp of North and South America के जो बीच में जो इलाके हैं, जो मैक्सिको हो गया, पनामा हो गया, इन सब इलाकों में कुछ न कुछ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स चल रहे हैं। साउथ अमेरिका में ज़्यादा हैं। देन अफ्रीका में यू फाइंड नंबर ऑफ प्लेसेस वेयर कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स आर गोइंग ऑन, चाहे वो सूडान हो, चाहे वो कोई भी आप कंट्री देखेंगे कि ये सारे जो जितने हैं, इथोपिया में प्रॉब्लम्स चल रही हैं, एरिट्रिया इथोपिया के बीच में। देन इसमें मार्क नहीं किया है, लेकिन नाइजीरिया में भी बोको हरम की प्रॉब्लम्स हैं। टोटल 30 such places in the world. And look at the Middle East. Look at the Middle East. It is pumped with problems. It is pumped with conflicts, including Europe, where you find that Russia-Ukraine conflict is going on for last 2 years plus now. And then you see the northwestern part of India. There you have Afghanistan, Pakistan, and JNK, etc. And thereafter, you find straight away when you go to the Southeast Asia, that is South China Sea, Sea of Japan, etc., Philippines, you will find big blobs surfacing there. So 30 global conflicts, fate of Russia-Ukraine war unknown, fate of Israel-West Asia conflict expanding to take larger proportions, fractured world, US-led oblique China-Russia-led blocks. What is the state? चाइना-रशिया का जो सो कॉल्ड क्रिक अलाइनमेंट था, उसकी क्या हालत है? क्रिक अलाइनमेंट मेरे ख्याल से शुरू होने से पहले ही ढह गया। उसके बाद देखिए यूरोप की क्या हालत है। यूरोप ओसिफाई हो रहा है। यूरोप के पास इस समय इकोनॉमिक सर्वाइवल की नौबत आ रही है। जर्मनी, फ्रांस, यूके, दे आर नॉट ऑन द सेम पेज। एंड ईस्टर्न यूरोप की बात करें तो वो अलग ही उनकी एक जो है इकोनॉमिक प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, मिलिट्री प्रॉब्लम्स हैं। एंड विद द रशिया यूक्रेन वॉर, द challenges now have extended to defense, not only economy. So what is the state of BRICS, SCO, Quad? If you look at BRICS, in the BRICS you have people blaming India, India blaming others. Why? Because of the China factor there. So similarly, SCO fate, Quad seems to be, people are talking in terms of, okay, it's not going anywhere, but India is trying to keep it alive, keep reviving it from time to time. There was a recent meeting in the US also on Quad. Hopefully we should be able to create this counterbalances आपस में। तो यहाँ बंधुत्व कहाँ आ गया आपके पास? Where is the friendship? Where is the Vishwabandhu factor coming in? By saying that please come together, I don't think these people are going to come together. They're going to only fight till their national interests are met. Look at Israel. Israel is not ready to give way, because not that it cannot be forced to be uh, follow the or toe the line of peace. It is because openly US and all are saying that okay, negotiate for peace, but underhand they are being supplied weapons. So till the time you supply, how can you expect a particular country to? And same is the case for Ukraine also. So I think जो विश्व बंधु वाला जो concept है, UN peacekeeping, efficacy of UN is almost dead, zero, to the extent that now UN is saying that if you are not ensuring the safety of the UN peacekeepers in Lebanon, then it is a crime. Just by saying that it is a crime, that Vishwabandhu concept has gone. UN was supposed to be a bigger example, umbrella of Vishwabandhu. I think this Vishwabandhu has to be tempered with realism or realist theory, pragmatism. If you look at India now, come closer home, we have two sworn enemies. I'm calling them adversaries. We have a very volatile neighborhood. whether it is Bangladesh है, चाहे आप अफगानिस्तान लीजिए, बांग्लादेश लीजिए, म्यांमार लीजिए, श्रीलंका लीजिए, मालदीव लीजिए, हर जगह हमें कुछ ना कुछ चैलेंजेस फेस करने पड़ रहे हैं. We have nuclear, high, I think the most nuclearized region in the world is South Asia. External interferences. If you look at, if you think that everything was an internal reason for Bangladesh to crumble, or Bangladesh to witness the various internal problems which it faced, then I think you're mistaken. There was a big external hand also in this. We will not go into details of that. So therefore, my starting premise is that Vishwabandhu as a concept has to be tampered by hard power. Unless we invest in national security policy and strategy and work towards capability development to ensure that हमारी जो stick है, जो the strength of India is backed both by soft and hard power. If you do not have the hard power, your soft power has a very limited use, very limited use. It will be helpful with countries which are relatively weaker than your strength. But wherever there is a sense of parity, wherever there is a sense of nuclear parity, you will find that we will be failing in actually imposing a wrong word for that, for ensuring that people have a win-win situation in geopolitics. So that is my first thing which I wanted to tell about the Vishwabandhu concept. Now look at impact of expanded West Asian war. What has happened? Will it really expand kinetically? If kinetically, will it be direct confrontation between Iran and Israel? My take is unlikely. Why? Because people have already started talking of a nuclearized Iran, possibly. So therefore, you saw a massive gray zone attack taking place on Iran by Israel. So in my view, peripheries of Iran may continue to be struck. You can't say, but for sure, whether Israel will go hell for lather for Iran. Probably they are still trying to get some more intelligence about the nuclear capabilities of Iran. China and Russia unlikely to intervene or actively support. Obvious reason. China has given its aim ki by 2049 I should be a, in fact, without saying that they should be a superpower, they are referring to it as that they'll be a power to count on. They would be probably working for a unipolar world if they had if Z had his say. So therefore, if they want to do that, they would not like to indulge in hard or active intervention in this part of the world. Although there are some reports which General Shankar shared about some Chinese troops possibly hobnobbing in Gaza, Hamas area, trying to train them on technology and other issues and intelligence, etc. It needs to be corroborated whether the Chinese have actually done it. If they have done it, I think this is a major, I would say, a benchmark breach. It's a new positioning which China is doing, and if they are doing this, then we need to be careful. Vishwabandhu goes out of this window. Then how do you know that China may not also not be doing similar kind of things in other parts of the world, whether it is South Asia, or whether it is South China Sea, or whether it is Sea of Japan? US is unlikely to, Russia, US are unlikely to actively be involved. That is why I'm saying there may not be there may not be a world war kind of a situation, but definitely there'll be a non-kinetic world war taking place by means other than kinetic in various parts of the world. Now, with this kind of a scenario, do we expect Vishwabandhu to succeed, or are we just saying for the sake of saying? Right. So, and the last point which I've said is that China at this point in time, seeing that there is no active collaboration between Russia, China, Iran, etc., will it have the stomach to take the combined might of West, including the US? And which side will will India take in that case, in that eventuality? आई हैड आस्क्ड दिस क्वेश्चन, मैंने ये पूछा था 2 दिन पहले ये क्वेश्चन कि अगर मान लीजिए ताइवान के ऊपर कुछ होता है, तो भारत क्या विश्व बंधु वाले मोड में रहेगा, या फिर वो प्रो पाकिस्तान होगा, सॉरी प्रो यूएस होगा, या फिर वो न्यूट्रल हो जाएगा. देर आर नंबर ऑफ थिंग्स which might take place. China, for example, might instigate Pakistan to take some actions against India, so India will get jump into the fray. And if India jumps into the fray, then which side will it go? If you see the Second World War history, people have been sucked in like this only. Initially America was not part of the World War One. It got sucked in because the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, and thereafter they said, okay, we are also inside the conflict. So we don't know exactly how things are going to pan, and in this kind of a uncertain world, I think we need to focus more on national security, capability development, hard power development, along with economic development. The greater the economic development, more will be the pie for defense, and more will better will be your capability for national security. uh, then if you come to other issues, you can see economic instability due to disruption in supply chain of energy and semiconductors. If these conflicts continue to carry on the way they are carrying on, if Iran gets sucked into the war with Israel, I think there will be a major issue. Chinese are still buying a lot of oil from Iran. How will they manage that? Will there not be other competition for the other sources of oil from the Middle East? Middle East doesn't, sorry, West Asia doesn't want war between Israel and Iran, so they are going to America to say, to impress upon Israel that, please do not tell them to attack Kursk port, because if that happens, then the West Asian countries would also suffer. Similarly, you have refugees, WHO, WTO, UNCLOS, every ICJ, every instrument today of विश्व global commons जिसकी बात करते हैं, फेल हो रहा है. Chinese are doing double standard. They are talking of global initiative and of GCI, GSI, GDI, but जमीन पे क्या कर रहे हैं? Like yesterday, General Rajiv Narayan said, they are doing a double fork, policy. मुंह में राम बगल में छुरी. हिंदी कहावत इसकी है कि मुंह पे राम बगल में छुरी. So when people are behaving in this manner, just by ignoring your security problems and saying कि look, हम अब economically cooperate करेंगे चाइना से, and we will for the time being keep our security problems which are there in the LAC के ऊपर हैं, उसको हम बैक बर्नर में करेंगे या फिर हम कॉम्प्रोमाइज कर लेंगे. I think we will go wrong in our, we will continue to play the game which the adversary wants us to play. Whereas गेम हमें खेलना चाहिए जो एडवर्सरी नहीं चाहता कि हम खेलें. हमें अपना गेम खेलना चाहिए. And I think that's very important, and that will come with this game, the game which we are trying to propagate. This is the difference which I said, that Vishwaguru conveys both soft power and hard power. In Vishwabandhu, it focuses only on the soft power. And that is where I feel that possibly rather than saying where we are Vishwaguru or we are Vishwabandhu, let's be clear and say that we will follow national interest in whatever IR policy which we are, or whatever IR response which we are going to give in a geopolitical scenario. I think keep our policy very simple. We will follow our national interest. So from whichever perspective, if our national interests are being met by soft power, we'll use soft power. If they are met by hard power, we will possibly take the various steps which are involved in hard power. Hard power can start from bottoms up and it can go up to the full-fledged war. So all those options we need to, and so therefore we should not get rattled by what Canada or what USA is saying about, and taking out, churning out articles from Washington Post. इन्होंने पहले भी निकाला है बहुत. अगर आप देखेंगे वॉशिंगटन पोस्ट, न्यूयॉर्क टाइम्स, इन लोगों ने पहले भी ऐसे हंड्रेड्स ऑफ आर्टिकल्स निकाले हैं एंटी इंडिया. चाहे वो आपका इलेक्शंस हो, चाहे आपके फार्म्स प्रोटेस्ट हो, चाहे आपका कोई एनआरसी के ऊपर प्रोटेस्ट हो, सीए के ऊपर प्रोटेस्ट हो, ये एक साथ झुंड की तरह आते हैं. दे कम लाइक वुल्फ वॉरियर्स की तरह आते हैं, एंड दे ट्राई टू पुट इंडिया इन अ बैड लाइट. आई थिंक इंडिया शुड डेवलप दैट रेजिलियंस, जैसे कि आप लोग बात कर रहे थे कि वी नीड टू डेवलप आवर ओन लॉबीज. इफ नीड बी, वी हैव टू स्टार्ट शोइंग आवर पॉकेट्स to ensure that we also have positive statements coming out. So be it. If people want to fight this way, so be it. Fight that way. That's the that's the message which I am trying to give. And finally, this is the summary of my discussion today. Is this approach adequate for us to ensure Viksit Bharat by 2047 is the big question. So let's not get astray. The right approach should be, I think, national security, national development, both have to go hand in hand with judicious investment in either of them. That's one. The second, investments in development of robust national security capabilities is a must given. There is no two-second thought as far as this particular issue is concerned. Hard power versus soft power in building a development of Viksit Bharat, we have to take a judicious call. As I have said, this is just a derivative of my first two statements. Policy of Vishbandhu can only succeed if it is backed by a strong national security strategy and capability. Approach should be assertive but not coercive or proactive or provocative. ये दिस इज माय वे ऑफ लुकिंग एट थिंग्स कि आप असर्टिव रहो, प्रोवोकेटिव मत रहो. डोंट बाई प्रॉब्लम्स, बिकॉज इस समय हमको चाहिए टाइम टू ग्रो इकोनॉमिकली. दैट कैन ओनली हैपन without fingering somebody unnecessarily. What we need to do is develop our strengths inside, keep our options of keeping our adversaries at bay through means other than war, and continue to grow, because one major disruption will definitely push the country back by 5 to 6 years. So that thing we should keep in mind. Assertive but not provocative. All security actions against adversarial activity should remain on the table, including non-kinetic or kinetic non-kinetic gray zone actions. You know what is kinetic non-kinetic actions? You are having a series of railway accidents. This is a kinetic action, but it has a non-kinetic element into it. How do we know that our you know elements which are against national interests are not being deployed? Or how do we know that our traffic systems are not being interfered to through cyber? I have incidents where air traffic systems have also, I have known, where they get interfered. So we can't. So we have to understand this thing, that lot of our electronic gadgets come with parts which are coming from places which are not reliable. Sometimes the same part, we may have put a restriction, but the same part comes via third country with a different label. I think we need to be more precise about how we should go about doing our things to ensure that we are having a robust, strong, hard power capability along with a soft power approach. So that is what, in my opinion, I feel is the true sense of विश्व बंधु. विश्व बंधु तब तक जब आप हमारे साथ विश्व बंधु हैं. जिस दिन you decide to forego this particular policy option, sorry friend, we are no more विश्व बंधु with you. Then we will deal with you the way you are trying to deal with us. Or proactively we should get to know that somebody is trying to unnecessarily finger us. So don't take it lying down. So for example, I was just quoting, just to give you that we have an adversary, known adversary on our north. What are its fault lines? Have we tried to do an analysis? Are we doing something about it? So just for an example, it's a strong nation but limited friends. So if you isolate it, it will be that much more restricted in its approach. General Shankar and General Narayanan talked a whole lot of things about demography of China. Play it up as much as possible. Go deeper into it. And what is the deeper analysis? it says that the male's expected age is 75 and females is 81, which means that males are under tremendous pressure, which means that it will ultimately over a period of time affect their capability to produce work, or productivity would reduce, whether it is in the defense, whether it is in manufacturing, anywhere you take it. अब भाई 50 साल के मीडियन एवरेज अगर हो जाएगी तो उसका वर्क आउटपुट तो उतना ही होगा ना जितना yesterday you saw those graphs, big graphs which we had on the same channel. The stomach is getting now wider and wider. So you will find that the ability for people to produce effective work or effective results are going to reduce by time. CNC, rocket force, keep talking about it. Let the people get to know. I'm not saying that they are a pushover. No, they are not. They have a 18 trillion economy. They have a strong military base. They have a strong military capability in terms of numbers. But look at your own strengths as well. And we need to play up our strengths. Our strengths are our terrain. Our strength is our operational experience. Our strength is limited numbers of better quality. Our strength is that our airfields are at a much lower altitude, greater pickup, greater all up load, and greater munition which we can put on the enemy. So, okay, 1:4 ratio can be offset to some extent. Look at what these guys proclaim, that there is a typical dissonance between periphery and the mainland. Hong Kong, Tibet, Xinjiang, and if you were to include Taiwan into it, I think these guys are equally worse off as we are concerned. They are also getting overstretched. Play up this issue. And I think the best person who is doing this today is, in at least in the last 2 years, I've seen is Shankar. So, economic divide, urban-rural divide today in China. There are 60% urban population, but only 36% are entitled to urban facilities. तो झुग्गी झोपड़ियां वहां भी हो रही हैं. Look at the second and third tier cities of China. Is the development all inclusive? It's a question. Let's highlight these, I think, stories. That is what I'm trying to say, is that look, bandhutva is up to a limit. Beyond that, I think we must be realistic. We must be pragmatic, which I'm sure our government is. Maybe it's a part of a deception plan. I'm not sure, because we are not part of the government. But what I'm trying to say is that maybe it is all part of the. It should be a very realistic and a pragmatic policy which we should follow as far as national security and national development is concerned. With that, I think I have finished my discourse today. And otherwise, we will not be able to respond to situation like what is happening in Canada, or what might happen as far as Gurupatwan Pannu is concerned in the US. These are people recognized as terror groups in our country. So why should we take it lying down if somebody is proclaiming them as some kind of a freedom fighter? I don't think they are freedom fighters. Where are the bulk of our people? Which side are the bulk of these people? They are with us. They are with India. So I finished, sir. I think
या
we had.
मैं बिल्कुल आपने जो बोला है उससे मेरा पूरा सहमति है. ये मैं बताना चाहता हूँ, अंग्रेजी में एक कहावत है, आयरन फिस्ट इन अ वेलवेट ग्लव. और जब तक ये विश्वबंधु का कॉन्सेप्ट इज लाइक अ वेलवेट ग्लव, उसका पीछे जो आयरन फिस्ट है, अगर वो सही है तो विश्वबंधु का कॉन्सेप्ट से मैं बिल्कुल सहमत हूँ. वो हाँ, वो आयरन फिस्ट नहीं है तो उसमें हमारे लिए दिक्कत है. और ये आयरन फिस्ट सिर्फ एक तरफा नहीं है कि फौज को बढ़ा दो, ये बढ़ा दो, वो बढ़ा दो. ये बहुत तरीके हैं. उदाहरण के तौर पर अभी मैं बताता हूँ, कनाडा ही ले लीजिए. कनाडा में आज के दिन में जो ये है 4,27,000 स्टूडेंट्स ऑफ इंडियन ओरिजिन कनाडा के यूनिवर्सिटी में एनरोल्ड है। ये 2023, 24 नहीं, 2023 के आंकड़े हैं। और हर एक स्टूडेंट का एवरेज जो खर्चा है वो तकरीबन 35,000 से लेकर $40,000 है। आप इसको आप मल्टीप्लाई कर दीजिए, तो इसका मतलब क्या है? कनाडा का जो आमदनी है तकरीबन 15 बिलियन डॉलर है। ठीक है ना? $15 बिलियन इसको मिलता है सिर्फ इससे। तो वो एक हमारे लिए आयरन फिस्ट है। आप कहीं और इनको चला लो।
बिल्कुल।
हमें हमें ये ही नहीं पता कि हमारे पास ये इतना ताकत है। ठीक है ना?
एब्सोल्युटली।
तो इस मामले में हमारा जो सिर्फ बात करना अच्छा नहीं है, ऑन ग्राउंड वी शुड डू। और इसका लीवरेज क्या है? और यही चीज हम यूएसए के साथ भी कर सकते हैं। आप उदाहरण
यस।
के तौर पर ले लीजिए, आज के दिन यूरोप तरस रहा है, उसको कुछ आमदनी नहीं है, वो पर यूरोप में टेक्नोलॉजी है। तो आप एक ऐलान कर दीजिए, 2-3 यूरोपियन कंट्रीज के साथ बात कर लीजिए, कोऑपरेट कर लीजिए कि भाई हम आपके हमारे स्टूडेंट्स आपके पास भेजेंगे, ये होगा वगैरह वगैरह। और वो एक चैनल बना दीजिए, कंपटीशन बना दीजिए। कुछ यूएसए और क्या वहां से कम हो जाएंगे, अपने आप उनको एक संकेत मिल जाएगा कि भैया ये जो विश्व बंधु है ना, इसके पीछे एक हथौड़ा है। तो आई थिंक देयर इज लॉट वी कैन डू, right? So we'll take it from there. And okay, so let's start taking a few questions.
यस सर।
Yeah, any other point you have? आप बताइए।
आज की खबर है, इट हैज कम आई थिंक इन टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया और इंडियन एक्सप्रेस, वन ऑफ द टू पेपर्स, इन विच यूके is now all their universities are in the red. They
हाँ,
are now requesting Indians to
भाई
please
आ
come
जाओ।
and study. आ जाओ पढ़ो, because they are not
हाँ,
able to sustain themselves.
नहीं नहीं, यही बात है। आपने जो बोला है उसका एक एक और देयर इज अनदर पहलू है इसका। तो ये है कि ये यूके वालों ने पाकिस्तानियों को काफी ले लिया। अब पाकिस्तानी वहां जाके भी वो यूके वालों को ही खा रहे हैं। पाकिस्तानी विल नॉट कंट्रीब्यूट टू द सोसाइटी, वो तो चूसेंगे। ठीक है, ये एक बड़ा चीज हो सकता है कि भाई यूके के पास जाके हम बताएं भाई हम स्टूडेंट भेजेंगे, हमें एक डील दे दीजिए, हम आपके इकोनॉमी के लिए कंट्रीब्यूट करेंगे और ये पाकिस्तानियों को थोड़ा कम कीजिए, और आप बात करना भी सही कर लो कि ताकि पाकिस्तान की ओर झुक ना जाओ। तो दैट लीवरेज हम क्या इसके बारे में हम सोच रहे हैं, ये हमारा मेरे लिए एक बड़ा, सबके लिए हमारा मेरे के लिए ख्याल में गवर्नमेंट में ये बड़ा समस्या है। वो हम ये सही तरीके से मल्टी डोमेन वॉरफेयर नहीं करते। मल्टी डोमेन का जो अर्थ है पूरी तरीके से हम समझते नहीं है। राइट, सो लेट्स टेक अ फ्यू क्वेश्चन।
Yes, sir.
ओके, तो सर जय हिंद, ग्रेट डिस्कशन, इजरायली, नो नॉट दिस, सॉरी, ये तो या दिस द क्वेश्चन। Yeah, why do we need a label to be Vishwaguru or Vishwabandhu or any other no first use policy putting ourselves in a chain? So this is what आपने बोला है, इसके बारे में आप थोड़ा बता सकते हो?
देखिए, no first use is a different aspect of it. I mean, that we need to discuss separately from Vish Guru and
नहीं
Vish
नहीं,
Bandhu.
I will talk
Vish
of the
Guru
first
and
one.
Vish Bandhu. Yeah, so we will talk of the Vish Guru and Vish Bandhu. No first use is something which we will keep it aside. Okay, Vish Guru and Vish Bandhu can have two implications. One is a positive implication where we are saying that we actually sincerely mean to have peace in the world. We sincerely mean to work with everyone who wants to work with us in a friendly manner. The other is that it is tampered with the intent also clearly conveyed to people that it should not be considered as our weakness. I think what we are trying to say is that you can use these terms. What I'm saying is we can use these terms. Sometimes they act as good uh, messaging in certain conditions. So it is good to have these words, but be cautious of the fact that don't depend on these words. These
Yeah,
words are
that's the
meant for messaging only. But when it comes to action, have all the cards on the table. Don't miss anything which you need to ensure your national interest. That's it.
okay. To be a Vishwaguru, Vishwabandhu requires to be a leading economy, a powerful and respected military, and a well-documented national security policy. This is what
Fully,
General Dushyant has said. So I
fully
think
agree.
here you have, yeah,
I'm
okay,
fully in agreement with Mr. Thadani, and
okay,
we are going to take your request for membership. It is going to come
yeah,
through very soon.
very
Your
good.
clause.
So, yeah. So Partha says, do you think currently we really need a MSM to take the West head on? From Nigeria opting for Prachand, global interest in our medical tourism or soft power is potent. Besides, MSM comedy is needed. So he says, do you need a mainstream media channel uh,
I
to
think,
take your?
see, my take on this is that, just saying that we don't require it or labeling it as comedy may be incorrect on our part. See, every aspect which today is being deployed with a purpose of some impact on your adversary. Okay, so if the media is being crafted in a manner by others to influence your people or their own people, I think it should be done, right? Otherwise, others are not fools, not to invest in such a thing. So, in my opinion, I think mainstream media, properly created, can play a lot of positive role. One of the technologies which people are talking about as far as Russia-Ukraine war is concerned is also about media. How media has been used in the Russia-Ukraine war to project their points. I mean, look at the Ukrainian propaganda through whether it is mainstream media or whether it is mainstream media of US or any other Western country. They have projected as though they have actually more or less annihilated the Russian army. If you look at the casualty
Yeah,
figure, the way they talk about it, I think all this has an impact on the people who are fighting on the front. So let's
yeah,
give the devil its due. Let's give the devil its due.
yeah, yeah. I completely agree. And as a growing nation, you need to have your own mainstream media. It is not only mainstream media, you need, I'll put it there, I'll put it in a different matter. You need a multi-stream media, not
Yeah,
just the mainstream media. You need a multi-stream media to take it forward. Okay.
absolutely.
Now this guy from China, obviously, he says to be honest, joining China and receiving help from China for India's industrialization is the best way forward. Let me tell you, this is the worst way forward. So forget it. We will not go even turn anywhere towards China, and
Yeah,
this is something we will ensure nothing happens with China.
absolutely.
Okay, right. Okay. Yeah, this is the next thing. It's my dream to travel from Islamabad to Singapore by road via Myanmar and Thailand. Look, I know you're from Pakistan. Let me assure you, from Islamabad, if you get to Lahore, it will be great. ठीक है आज के दिन उससे ज्यादा आप सोचो मत. ठीक है वहां भी आप जिंदा बच जाओगे तो बहुत अच्छी बात है क्योंकि जिस तरीके से आपके देश में या लाहौर से कराची भी आप चले जाओ बहुत बड़ी बात है.
आज
तो आई
की एक
डोंट थिंक यू.
आज की एक न्यूज है. दिस आई मस्ट शेयर विथ आवर नेबर्स, especially China. Few years back, if you remember, stopped the water in Mekong River,
Correct.
and entire Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, and Myanmar were
Mm,
facing a severe water crisis. This despite the fact that they had an agreement of CMEC.
mm.
So the guys in the CPEC have to be equally careful.
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
I'm giving you this information? Because today they have announced their intent
Mm,
to construct a 60,000 megawatt dam on the Yarlang Tangpo River
mm.
upstream. To, so India is taking some actions to ensure that particular impact of that particular dam whenever it gets completed is not there on us.
Yeah, but I think our situation from Mekong, if you study the Mekong river system and the Brahmaputra river system, is vastly different. You also served in the east.
Yeah, the only thing is that
70% of what waters
the only thing is
in Brahmaputra comes from other places.
yeah, but only thing is that sudden releases may create problems of life,
No,
loss of life.
I mean my theory is for that. My theory for that is you need to have another dam. You
So
need to
that's
have
what
another
India is
dam
doing.
on.
That's what
You
India
need
is
to have
doing
a dam,
now.
so which can
India is
handle
now
that, and
making a 15,000 megawatt dam along with an additional
storage capacity.
reservoir to store 9,000.
Yeah,
Yes, so they will
yeah,
have
that's the only
two of
way
this
you.
to ensure both. So India is already taking that action. What you are
Yeah, yeah,
suggesting, this is
that's the only
this
way to
plan is
go
already
for.
afoot. Absolutely.
Yeah. Sir, does the EM travel to Pakistan and Meghdoot carry any specific message or significance? Because he's gone in the Air Force,
Yeah.
Meghdoot, which normally either the Prime Minister or President go.
You see, display of national power will always carry a message. Okay. So when other state heads are coming in a particular type of aircraft, so why not? This privilege should be given. After all, it's a country's aircraft, not an individual's aircraft. So anybody can use it, whether it is the defense minister or the external affairs minister. It has gone with a definite message.
Yeah. And he's going to SCO, and to
Yeah,
Pakistan.
that's
तो
right.
वहाँ उनको वो कील ठोकने की बात है. There's a lot of this thing. Okay, this is an interesting question. As per Chanakya's mandala theory, a king shouldn't hesitate to break any friendship public affiliation which could subsequently be disadvantaged. How is this relevant with Vishwabandhu concept?
Look, Chanakya said this Mandala theory in the context of situations that were prevailing at that point in time. In fact, he went on to say that the day you stop assimilating another mandala into your mandala, that will be the start point of your demise of your nation. In fact, he said you must continuously expand your nation so that you continue to get. You see, in those days what was happening, you would get booty, economic, lagan, all those things were coming to a particular country for, or to the ruling king, so that he was able to establish his power over his subjects. So if you look at its applicability today, whether Vishwabandhu and breaking friendship, etc., are relevant or not, I said Vishwabandhu is a messaging concept. The principal concept of IR has to be national interest. So if in the national interest we need to lay off from a particular country, we might as well do it here. What stops you?
Okay.
What are we doing?
Uh,
What are we doing against Pakistan, China? We are doing exactly that.
yeah. Okay. This is a very interesting thing. I must. सर सबसे पहले एक तो जनरल लोगों को अपने प्रेजेंटेशन पे में पावर दिखाना चाहिए. Like what you are putting on. You should be in suit or uniforms. Your present shirt, T-shirt look ridiculous. तो ये मेरे ख्याल में कल भी इसने यही कमेंट दिया ना, समथिंग लाइक दिस.
Yeah, yeah.
देखिए हम यू मस्ट अंडरस्टैंड, यू हैव सम आइडिया कि भाई फौजी है वो एक आकार होना चाहिए, वो सब छोड़ो. जैसे इंडिया बदल रहा है फौज भी बदल रहा है, एक तो. दूसरी बात है हम चेन्नई में बैठे हैं, यहाँ अगर मैं टाई पहन के बैठूंगा तो 2 मिनट के अंदर मेरा पसीना निकल जाएगा. ठीक है, तो तो डोंट प्रिस्क्राइब. ओके. दूसरी बात, हम देखो महात्मा गांधी के देश में बैठे हैं भाई, उसने तो लंगोट के साथ पूरा देश को आजादी दिलाया. तो ऐसी बात नहीं है कि हम हर वक्त टाई पहनो, और हम रिटायर्ड हैं, यूनिफॉर्म तो पहन नहीं सकते. तो आप, ये भी बात है कि यू शुड बिकम मोर लाइक अ नॉर्मल इंडियन देन कीप लुकिंग लाइक अ गुड ओल्ड दैट ब्रिटिश टाइप ऑफ अ फौज, colonial फौजी. You
Yes.
you should continue to be part of India like any normal Indian. Your views, Dushi, on this?
I fully agree with you. These are exchange of ideas, right? And if you like some ideas, pick it up. If you don't like some ideas, drop it. If you're looking at dress, I feel that more casual you are, more freer you are as far as exchange of ideas are concerned, thinking of your new ideas are concerned. And do not go by dress. Are we improperly dressed? Are we kind of offensive to somebody? I think he's wearing the dress of that particular region, and I'm wearing the dress of this region. As it will become colder, I'll start wearing a jersey. As of now, I am on a half jacket. So if this looks unmilitary like, I think you need to tamper your suggestions accordingly. Be understanding of how we are doing these things. We have already done work from 9 to 5, and now we have done some quick kind of a gathering our thoughts, and then we are trying to convey it to all of you. Take it in that spirit.
Yeah, I think so. Okay. Uh, yeah. Bhaskar Verma, he's just subscribed to your channel. So has
Okay.
Venki and so has others.
Thank you,
And
sir.
they're coming through strategic front lines. He says, ask Lieutenant General Sir Jahan, great discussion. Israeli reserve model is very useful in modern warfare as it increases innovation of technology and productivity of youth in the industry. So,
I
though he's made a statement, I think we need to
we
give him
we
a chance.
we are also kind of creating this kind of a model, and probably we are a step ahead of this model, in the sense that we need to now start creating my personal view is that we are having these TA battalions which are coming up. Okay, right now these TA battalions are there with a particular purpose, but I think we need to change their purpose, reorientate them to the new environment, new war fighting environment, which is technology driven. Why can't we have such like TA battalions? And to some extent, let me share it with you, with all of you. We are now taking within the TM, where a large number of TAs which India has, people who are highly technically qualified, and they are working on improving our technological capacities while remaining within the defense forces. Then they go back to their original work, they carry out their work. Again, if you require some people like this, we again take them. I think we are also learning, and I suppose this particular initiative will pay us handsome dividends. Specifically, I
Yeah.
would not like to exactly tell you which all are these kind of initiatives which are taking place, but we are alive to this.
Yeah. Okay. Sirs, what would be your recommendation to Pakistan, China, and Canada to exist well and prosperously with India?
my my recommendation to Pakistan, China, and Canada would be that it is unlikely that you are going to view India as a friend. So if you want to be in some kind of I won't say peace, work for a stable situation. A stable
Yeah.
situation where we are able to continue with our economic and other activities in a manner which does not step on the toes of my security concerns. The day you start stepping on my security concerns, I think that's the day we will tell you to terminate your क्या बोलते हैं so called whatever you want to convey, peace, etc. It's not going to happen. Pakistan, till the time they are living in that two nation theory, whatever advice you give to them, it is not going to work. It has not worked for so many years, 75 years.
75.
It is not going to work henceforth. China, till the time, sees India as a competition in the region. It is not going to let go China, India. Even if you have a border agreement, let me tell you, China will continue to flout those border agreements. We had 5 border agreements. They have flouted all those 5 border agreements. What is the guarantee that in the future we have a peace and tranquility agreement again on our borders with some more stringent conditions that no carriage of arms during patrolling, etc., that they will not flout it. The only answer to all this is increase your strength, increase your deterrence capability. The day you increase your
Yeah,
deterrence capability, these countries respect strength.
everything.
These countries respect
Yeah,
strength, so build your strength. That's my advice to them. Build your strength,
yeah.
then only they will listen to you.
Let me add a little to what General Dushyant has said. Each country has a different problem with us. You have to deal with each country in a different manner. And for
Absolutely.
each country, you need a different strength. And for each country, you need a different message. And that message has to change with time. For example, with Pakistan, 5 years back, you had to give him a different message. Today, you have to give him a different message. Or you have to behave with him differently. 10 years back with Canada, you behaved differently. 30 years back, you behaved differently. And today, you have to behave differently. So this is no singular time. You have to change with time. You have to change with the situation. You have to change with the country. But what General Dushyant says is fundamentally important. And what I have said, कि iron fist चाहिए, हथौड़ा चाहिए आपके, वो हथौड़ा बनाओ, बाकी सब कुछ अपने आप ठीक हो जाएगा.
अपनी जगह पे आएगा.
Yeah, everything will come together. Okay. Maulana Xi Jinping, subscribe. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Okay. This is an interesting question. We'll answer it. The last question. He
Okay.
says, ask both of you, being a Lieutenant General of Indian Army, whom do you rate as the top 5 military minds of Bharat since independence? He said 5 top military minds of Bharat since independence.
Okay, you want us to name them?
I mean, just take a shot. It doesn't matter.
Okay, so let me start off by saying that Manik Shaw, I would definitely rate him as a very good general. I would rate Sagat Singh as a very good
Yeah.
general. I would also rate Thimaiya, Bhagat. These are people whom I would
Karyappa.
Karyappa. These are the people whom I would rate them as people who could not be faulted. They were very
Yeah,
straight. They were very clear in their thought process as far as military profession was concerned, and they were very clear in moral standing. They knew how to act in a situation, whether it was a political situation or whether it was a military professional situation. I think these are five
yeah,
which I will pick.
yeah. I go with you. What you must all understand is, the greatness of a person is always seen in hindsight. It is history which has to judge a person who's great or not. Okay. So that's why what General Dushyant has said, when you talk of General Sagat Singh or Timaya or Karyappa or Maneksha or Bhagat, uh, it's after, much after, you're talking of their greatness after 30, 40 years of seeing. Okay. This generation of generals or modern generals will get judged against these people maybe after another 30, 40 years. So that
Absolutely.
is why the older people are the ones who will always look up, and that's history, isn't it? So that's how history is written. It's only against the backdrop of history that greatness comes out. So I think I go with you 100%. I mean, in fact, there is no, what shall I say, difference of opinion on this issue at all.
Absolutely, sir. I think
Okay.
by and large,
Okay.
if
I
you ask
think,
any
yeah,
military officer, he'll pick
yeah,
the
one
three
odd
five.
person you could add. Maybe if
Yeah.
you ask me the sixth person, I'll talk of JFR Jacob.
Yes.
Okay. And
Correct.
one odd guy, right? So that's how it is. And yeah, thank you for providing an understanding of India's national security. Thanks, Venigala. That's the whole aim. Okay. So at the end, I'd like to remind everyone, if you like this channel, please subscribe to it, press the like button. Similarly, I'd request all of you to subscribe to Strategic Frontlines of the Clause, which is the official YTube channel of Clause. right? And
And of 24th, 25th, whole
yeah,
day.
24th, 25th, come whole day, we will stream it to all of you. You can see it on Gunner Shot, you can see it on this thing. Let me also tell you, I'm not too bothered about views, shoes, and all that. वो अपने आप हो जाएगा, एक दिन सब कुछ ठीक हो जाएगा. Quality has its own, way of doing things, right? And so we'll leave it at
Yeah.
that. And I must thank you for joining us today. And we'll see you tomorrow again. Tomorrow I was to do something about Indian Ocean, but I'll now postpone it to Sunday, and I'll do a mix and match because a lot of things are happening. Our external affairs minister is an SCO. The Canada thing is going on, right? And a few other things are going on. We also bought the Reaper. Today we've signed the deal for the MQ9. So all
Yeah.
these things I'll put something together and discuss tomorrow, and I'll make it some kind of an open house so that we can have an open discussion on any of these things. Right? Till then, thank you. Good evening and Jai Hind, and good evening to General Dushyant also, and Jai
Thank
Hind
you,
to
sir.
everyone.
Thank you, sir. Jai Hind to you and Jai Hind to
Jai
the
Hind.
audience.